So rather than thinking of Cradle as a product, a gift that you bring home from the store and it has a bow around it and you unpack it at home and now you can use it, it is a platform that you can learn how to interact with, you can collaborate with, you can plug it into your existing workflows, but you can also start to reimagine what those workflows look like, given that you now have machine learning at your fingertips.
Welcome to Talk Bio to Me, the show where we sit down with the people building the future of biology. I'm your host, Flo Lumsden, founder of Chorus Studios, a podcast production company where we transform complex technologies and breakthrough ideas into human stories that educate, entertain, and inspire. This year, we headed to SynBioBeta, the world's largest conference for synthetic biology. This mini-pod features some of the most fascinating founders.
We make spores that actually eat the insects.
Scientists.
We have carbon-fixing microbes that can essentially eat emissions.
Researchers.
This is going to make DNA into a programmable material that we can use to turn biology into infrastructure.
Investors.
Because it's garbage in, garbage out on AI. And Mother Nature still works in mysterious ways, right?
And AI innovators.
I'm increasingly excited about AI actually making an impact in the lab.
Shaping the future of biotech. From breakthrough therapies to AI that's beginning to design biology, I discovered one of the most exciting technological revolutions of our time. Okay, talk bio to me. Hi, Elise.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm Flo from Chorus Studios, and this is Talk Bio to Me, a mini pod I'm creating just for SynBioBeta. And I'm excited to talk to you about Cradle today. Could you give a little introduction to yourself, just your name and your role?
Thank you for having this podcast and sharing the stories of SynBioBeta. My name's Elise, and I'm a co-founder at Cradle, where I lead the customer success team. So I work with all the fantastic customers across biopharma and industrial bio to help them get on their way with AI-guided protein design on our software platform.
Very cool. How long have you been working with Cradle?
We founded the company 4.5 years ago, and then we had a good amount of time brainstorming on what we thought the industry needed and what kind of business model and company would fit that best.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what problem is Cradle working to solve, but I was also going to ask you how the founding team came together. But maybe those two questions feed into each other.
They do. So my background is in bioengineering. I'm a wet lab biologist, and I was focused on high throughput experimentation at a company called Zymergen here in the Bay Area. We were trying to scale biology and bring bio-based products to market faster using robotics and automation. And while at Zymergen, I realized that that's part of the solution, but the other part of the solution really needs to be what designs are we putting into those experiments? Our co-founders, Eli and Steph, were inside of Google working on teams like machine intelligence, Google Brain, accelerated sciences. And so they were seeing where machine learning models were already starting to impact language, so language models, but also the natural sciences in protein space. So we thought, why aren't our types of people collaborating yet? And why is there no wet lab at Google? And why is there no Google team at Zymergen? And so how about we build the company that brings together machine learning innovations and biotechnology in a way that helps scientists design better proteins in less time and fewer experiments?
Very cool. Yeah, I was hearing from Jared that it's like a feedback loop that you created to like fail more quickly, learn more quickly, create better protein designs. I'm new to the field.
You're saying it all right.
You'll have to correct my terminology, but it sounds really smart. Like it sounds like an obvious next step for the industry.
We think it's needed. There are foundation models that can model all aspects of proteins, but they won't necessarily be experts at the particular hard, gritty problem that a scientist is trying to solve, whether they are trying to develop an antibody that binds a cancer cell but not a healthy cell, whether they are developing an enzyme that has to be super effective but also withstand the harsh conditions of your laundry machine. You need to have machine learning models that understand what success means.
Right.
You have to have a way as a scientist to translate your goals into machine learning constraints, machine learning speak. And you have to have a way to collaborate with this machine learning model. You have to understand what it's telling you, where it thinks it's going to be really successful, when it's worth taking new
Right.
proteins into the lab, or when maybe you have to course correct. And all of that is much more than just a simple model. It is really a fully fledged product that helps you design proteins faster and more effectively. And that's what we're really building at Cradle. So we enable scientists to create this loop, running their experiments, generating new protein variants with machine learning, and then informing these models with new data coming back from the wet lab.
Amazing. Very, very cool. You were mentioning you work in pharmaceuticals and bioindustrial applications, and you've done several large projects with large pharmaceutical and industrial companies. Was there anything that surprised you as you started to deploying that platform on real projects?
We're one of the most interesting and exciting parts of building Cradle is that we are building a product that is in the hands of scientists around the world in leading companies, whether they are biopharmaceutical companies or biotech companies in the chemical space or the ag space. It's really where the rubber hits the road.
Right.
What has been surprising is how much better the outcomes of a project are when there is this collaborative approach from the start. So rather than thinking of Cradle as a product, a gift that you bring home from the store and it has a bow around it and you unpack it at home and now you can use it. It is a platform that you can learn how to interact with, you can collaborate with, you can plug it into your existing workflows, but you can also start to reimagine what those workflows look like, given that you now have machine learning at your fingertips. So that collaborative process and designing workflows that are just more ML native from the start has been surprising and really rewarding.
Very cool. Can I ask you what ML native means?
ML native, absolutely. So
Machine learning.
machine learning.
Okay,
Yeah, so
got it.
machine learning. So rather than processes that are existing and you have machine learning as an afterthought,
Right.
you really integrate machine learning into the workflow.
Right.
That's what AI scientists call lab in the loop.
Right.
But as a lab scientist, I call it AI in my wet lab loop.
Right. Yeah.
The next step is to reimagine that workflow, reimagine that process and go, now that we have machine learning capabilities, how do we produce the types of data sets that really inform these models in the optimal way? So how do we
Work with this new tool.
work with this new tool?
Yeah, it's like you discovered scissors. So what am I going to do with the scissors? I'm going to cut things, and I'm going to figure out how I can do my job better with this new tool.
Yeah, or what maybe there are different questions that you can ask or different craft projects that you can make now that you have scissors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Different shapes. Very cool. Thanks for going along with that analogy. So in terms of human health and sustainability, why does this innovative platform matter to the average person?
When you, as an average person, interact with a designed protein in a drug, in a medicine, or in your laundry detergents, or indirectly because the food that you eat has benefited from better fertilizers or better crop protection,
Right.
many steps have been taken to get that product into your hands. And so there's a whole regulatory, there's scale up, there's commercial, but in the developing the fundamental protein, that's where there is a huge opportunity for platforms like Cradle or machine learning approaches to innovate faster. So to get better molecules out to the market faster, but also with new types of properties. So you can develop fundamentally products that didn't exist or couldn't have existed in like a decade earlier because maybe there you'd have to make specific trade-offs in activity of an enzyme or its stability or its ability to withstand your laundry detergents.
Yeah.
As now you have a machine learning model that can help you as a scientist really find the solution that ticks all those boxes.
Very cool. I was hearing that in the antibody protein space, you're working in that space, or you have clients that work in that space, and that there could be just the speeding up of discovery of solutions or treatments for cancer and autoimmune issues. Do you have any examples of that or any stories you could share?
So the regulatory process, the clinical trials and everything, that takes many years. The technologies that we're seeing applied now in the protein design or antibody design space aren't that old. Like when we started Cradle 4.5 years ago, people still were very skeptical of whether AI would ever be practically useful in this type of research.
Right.
So as you can imagine, it's going to take a little bit of time before we can really point at something that passed through clinical trials and say that was AI designed. What we are already seeing is that there's all sorts of things where AI or machine learning can help, like maybe some of the properties of an antibody you don't have to measure in the wet lab because you can predict the behavior ahead of time. Maybe you don't need to go through immunizing a mouse or a llama to get initial binders that you can turn into your antibody, but you can design these de novo. All of these are advances that we're seeing now in the protein design field.
So it may help speed up the process just a little bit, getting the drugs.
It can speed up the process a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I have an autoimmune issue, so I'm waiting for the next drug.
Okay, we're on it.
I'm excited about innovations in treatments for rare diseases and things like that. So that's how it matters to me as a
Do you know
regular
who's working on it, and are they here at the conference?
It's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I'm not private about it. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody talking about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but I'm going to go to the FemTech event after this, and a lot of women have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so maybe they'll be talking about it in there.
Super interesting. I'll have to go and learn more about it.
Yeah. So why did you decide and your company decide to come participate in such a big way at SynBioBeta this year?
We think SynBioBeta is a unique conference. It has gotten more and more diverse every year since I started attending 4 years ago. I see the share of different types of scientists, persona, interests really expand. So there are a lot more biopharma attendees over the past few years. There, like Oracle and NVIDIA, all of a sudden joins and takes an interest as compute and models are becoming more important in this space. And the commonality between all the participants at SynBioBeta is that I think they're all very motivated by biology, very hopeful for what it can do for the future of the world, and maybe willing to take some risks here and there. So think creatively and learn from each other in this like cross-pollinating way. And I think that's quite unique to SynBioBeta as a meeting.
I've heard that from others, that it's a unique mix of different parts of tech and biotech and industry. Is there anything else, or do you have any updates from Cradle?
It wasn't so long ago that we put out our white paper where we described Cradle 1, the platform, the 2026 platform.
Okay.
I encourage listeners to go check it out if they haven't already.
Perfect. We'll put it in the show notes. Cool. Thank you so much, Elise.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe or follow Talk Bio to Me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube today for episodes dropping very soon.